child died. And to me, that's staggering.
Bonnie Gale wants to end relationship violence.
It's so much of a problem in our communities that it's time that campus really did something about it. At noon. Thank you.
That's why she organized Duct Tape Day to show the silence about relationship abuse. Students from the Women's Center, Student Assault Resource Center, and Lambda participated in the event.
And so much of violence is such a silenced issue and such a silencing issue for people who experience violence that we really just wanted to be walking representations of the violence that people experience. We just really wanted to give a voice to all the violence that exists on campus and in Missoula community.
Because participants are silenced by duct tape, they use cards to speak for them. Volunteers gathered in the Oval at noon to rip off their tape and end silence about relationship abuse. Gale hopes their presence on campus will make a difference.
The work we have done today is astounding.
At least we can affect some people on campus. If we affect one person, it's totally worth what we're doing.
You cannot end violence without
Reporting for
men.
News, I'm Heather Hinsey.
Without women, you cannot end violence without families. Do not think this doesn't affect you just because you're not up here speaking.
They're not naked, but they're pretty close.
I have to confess I'm wearing undergarments, but only for legal reasons.
Students for Economic and Social Justice, or SESJ, joined other activist groups from around Missoula to rally on the UM Oval. SESJ member Ross Moranti spoke at the rally and outlined the group's campaign.
This year, we're trying to affiliate with the WRC, which is the Workers' Right Consortium, which is a monitoring group to assure that the corporations that we buy our garments from, whether it be the athletic team or the bookstore or the workers' uniforms here on campus, don't come from sweatshops.
Moranti says the cardboard outfits are just a fun way to grab attention.
Like the theme is no sweat on our back, and we're just saying to raise awareness to the fact that both there is a lot of sweatshop practices in all garments that people wear, and on the U of M.
And while some members of the crowd seemed unamused by the stunt, some felt it was an effective tactic.
And it can work. It definitely works. I think it gets out the message.
And whether or not they changed people's feelings on the issue, they certainly raised awareness. And a few eyebrows.
Vote for freedom!
Reporting for UM News, I'm Marcus Jewell.
This is hot.
Heidi Feil assistant teaches the university's American Sign Language class. She also helps one Missoula family speak with their adopted daughter.
I work with a young girl named Nellie. She is the only deaf person in her family, and I have the opportunity to go in and talk to her in ASL and work with her mother and her siblings on vocab and terms that they would like to use so they can communicate with their sister and daughter.
While Feil helps one family communicate, another student is taking the class to communicate with his family.
I have a deaf relative. Out of respect, I would like to be able to communicate the way that she feels comfortable communicating.
Feil says everyone should learn sign language to help bridge the gap with the deaf community.
We don't have a ton of them in Montana, but those that are here aren't getting a lot of exposure, so they're kind of isolated.
Movement and positioning.
Reporting for UM News, I'm Heather Hinsey.
ASUM Park and Ride bus driver Aaron Fortner has driven the bus for 2 years. He says the new bus is making it quicker on students to get to campus, but it is not enough.
That's absolutely reduced the amount of time people have to wait. I mean, people are still waiting, so obviously there's, every day you're going to miss a certain amount of people because there's still not as many buses as there could be. We're still kind of underfunded.
ASUM Director of Transportation Nancy Wilson says students control the funding.
This service is paid for by students, so if the students want more service, they're going to have to pay more.
Fortner feels despite the lack of money, it is a positive program for the students.
It's a developing part of the university that is you know, the demand for it is always increasing. I guess if there's any problem, it's that, but I wouldn't see it as a problem because it's a positive service for all the students.
ASUM Senate this spring will vote on raising students' fees at the beginning of next year from $8 to $16 to help with the funding for more buses. Reporting for UM News, I'm Aaron Rains.